Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Also going live again on Instagram and YouTube. So if you guys are tuning in, you can turn in from either places. Hey, Rob. Hi, Find Ecstasy. Hi, Gabby. Good morning. Hey, Alexandra. How are you? All right, let me put in the chat here the topic. Ask me about what your excuse. So I'm gonna title this "What's Your Excuse?" Okay. Ask me. Ask me anything. Okay, let's get started. Um, Welcome everyone. If you're just joining in, my name is Sun. I'm a marketer and I teach storytelling. And today, let's talk about excuses. So last week, this week's Sunday service, we kind of talked about what are the excuses that we're giving, and we try to kind of debunk that excuse. So yeah, maybe put in the chat or that, or put in the question tab if you want. What is your excuse? What's one excuse that you're giving that you know yeah, that I guess is like it's get what's an excuse that you're giving, the biggest excuse you're giving that's getting in the way of your success, whether it's like growing Instagram or growing your business or getting healthy or something like that. And how do you how do you what can you do to overcome that excuse? If there really is an excuse, what can you do to overcome that excuse? So just go ahead and put in the chat. Put in the chat, or like if you have a question for me also, if you have any questions about like excuses you have, put it in the put it in the question sticker here. A lot of times, like, you know, the first thing I think you need to do if you want to figure out whether your excuse is real or not. I guess my question is this, just to clarify. What's the biggest obstacle, or what's the biggest excuse that's getting in the way of you getting in the way of you achieving your goals, right? Whether it's, oh, I don't have enough time, I have no time, I have a full-time job, or I don't know enough about this industry, or I don't know, like, or your location or something like that, right? Proj wall, whatever I do, I feel like I can never learn anything about selling, investing. It feels too complicated. Your emotionality, the marketing world feels oversaturated with inauthenticity. If anybody want to come on and share your excuse, we can also do that. I don't know how, and Google isn't helping, and I can't afford professional services. My excuse. I've always got time. Tomorrow I combat this with daily checklist. Sweet little vague. I'm tired. I could exercise and eat better to boost my energy. Okay, great. Awesome. Hey, Sue. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Nancy. Putting my effort in creating content, and Insta is not pushing. Okay, let's talk about that actually first. The algorithm thing, right? It's, the algorithm is like, Instagram is shadow banning me or something, whatever it is, right? before I do that, I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Hello. Okay, let's go through. I'm gonna go through questions and then I'll go through that one excuse that. And also, guys, if you have you can go in the question tab and if there's a question there that you want me to answer first, I can do that. All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm not used to this because like I'm streaming in live places. There's a lot going on here, and it's kind of I'm trying to stay focused. Okay. Oh, sorry. Wrong question. Oh, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions in here. Okay, never mind. They're old questions, so let's see if there's somebody here. I'm gonna accept call requests if you guys wanna talk about your excuses. Hello. Hi, who's this? I'm gonna have to. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. All right. What's your name? Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Nice to meet you. So let's. Do you want to talk about your excuses, or you have a question, or anything like that? Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a couple of things, right? Like first, when I ask people, there's something about just getting started. So I'll give you an example. When I first started my company, when we were painting our office, we were all like our whole entire team was supposed to meet at noon to meet and paint the office together. But I wasn't able to meet at noon. I was 2 hours. I I had another meeting, so I was there at 2. So when I got there, I was expecting everybody to be painting. But when I got there, they were just sitting around for 2 hours. Yeah, exactly. So so what I did was I just picked up a brush and or a roller. I went to this wall and I just started painting. And then somebody else went next to me and started painting with me, right? And then after about 5 minutes of doing that, like this guy kept going, and I went over here and I started painting this wall. And then someone else came and started painting. So I just feel like a lot of times, like a lot of people know what they need to do, but they just don't know. They either don't know how to do it, or they don't even know the first few steps to get started, right? So you're doing great right now. What I would This is what I would recommend for all of you guys, right? For me, it was the hardest for me to look at a camera and talk like that. That that I just couldn't do that for the longest time. For the first year, every video that you saw coming from me was from a Zoom call. So it was yeah, like every call that I have with a client or employees or something like that, I would record everything and I would take clips from there and upload it, right? So it looked more natural, and then I started a podcast. So that's where all my content came from in the beginning. And I would actually recommend doing that because when you're having a conversation with a human being, you're just going to be much more natural than speaking to them. But I think the key thing was this for me. It was less about practicing on camera, and it was more about practicing watching myself. So I think a lot of people just are not used to watching themselves. But what ends up happening is if you keep watching yourself over and over and over and over and over again, I just think you become really comfortable with it to a point where, yeah, at a certain point, you talk to the camera and it doesn't feel like you're just talking alone, like into an abyss anymore, you know. But yeah, watching yourself, I think it's a great practice because a lot of people will also make a video and not watch it because they're like, I don't like hearing myself or something like that, you know. Does that help? Oh, if you want to go live, so the first part, what I was thinking was maybe what you can do is you can set up a weekly Zoom call with someone or with a guest or something like that. Just record a Zoom call, right? And that can be the source of video content, right? If you want to go live, do something like this, where you go live with somebody else. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but going live is 100 times easier than pre-recording. Because when I no, oh, actually, okay. Here's why. Because when you go live, this is why I actually recommend going live and doing podcasts and things like that. Because when you go live and you know that you can't repeat this over and over, like on video, you're doing takes, right? So what happens is you record it, and you're just so focused on saying this right that you can't be yourself. You can't possibly be natural, right? Because I said it wrong again. Oh, I said it wrong again. Oh, let me start over. Oh, okay. Let me start over. Right? That's what you do. But when you go live, you're like you can't do that, obviously, right? So you actually start talking, and then like a couple minutes into it, you're like, yeah. I guess you start accepting your flaws a lot more, which is an important thing, you know. No, actually, no. Okay, let me tell you this. So I'm using this mic because I'm also streaming this on YouTube. But for Instagram, I have this little tiny little mic here that I just tied to here, and I bought this on Amazon for like $10, and I'm just live streaming on my phone, right? So that's how I do the live stream usually, you know. Yeah, like this, this era. What do you call this? I don't know what this is called, but the one that, yeah, the earbuds that comes with the iPhones, they're actually really good for podcast. If you just want to start out, like you don't need any equipment. Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, nice to chat with you, Tammy. Happy New Year. Bye. If anybody else wants to come on, you can let me know. Just do a request. If anybody wants to come on and share your excuse, just you can do a request. I'll say this, right? One of the things that I'm doing right now is I would post. I'm getting almost no, like I'm getting such low views on all my videos, right? TikTok, Instagram, you know. So the easy thing to do is like, oh yeah, it's because of the algorithm. Oh yeah, it's because no, I can't grow Instagram because of the algorithm, something like that, right? Um, but the thing is it really like go into your account if you think it's because of the algorithm, go into your account and see if there's any any post that actually did perform well, right? Because even if there's just one post that performed well, that just goes to show you that it's not the algorithm, right? And here's another thing, right? If you think that algorithm is the reason why you can't grow, think about this, right? So imagine you were correct. Imagine in this world that the algorithm is broken. So algorithm pushing your content down, algorithm doesn't want to push your content at all, and it's like, forget it, right? But but your content is awesome. Like like you said, like your content is perfect, but the algorithm is just not pushing it. Don't you think if that really was happening, all your audience who's looking at would share it? So think about it. Even if the algorithm doesn't help you at all, like if your content really is good, just from people sharing it alone, it should get views and it should get reach and it should get right. So that's the thing, because not all traffic comes from algorithm. Like if your content is really good, a lot of it comes from sharing it, like people sharing it, right? So yeah, I mean, don't just blame the algorithm, because if people are not sharing your content, that means it's not just the algorithm, right? So now you need to figure out, how can I make content? Like forget about algorithm. Forget about algorithm. If you don't trust the algorithm, forget about it. But make content that people are gonna share. If you're making content and nobody's sharing it, that means your content sucks. It has nothing to do with algorithm. It has nothing to do with anything else. It means your content sucks, right? So then you gotta take responsibility. All right, guys, I'm gonna take on some more people in this. I'm gonna have people come on. This is gonna be a little weird for people watching on YouTube because these people are coming on Instagram. But hey, how are you? Tell everybody your name and where you're from. Cool. What's your excuse or what's your question? Okay. Like so, is one of the things, maybe one of the excuse that you're giving is that, oh, if I start talking about this other topic, that people will unfollow me, or algorithm will go like shadow ban me. Got it. Okay, I think that is a legitimate concern. I think it's not an excuse, right? So let's talk. So you're saying you've been talking about nutrition this whole time, and then now you want to kind of branch out and talk about maybe more broader topics like life, like business, things like that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, Let me tell you this: do you want to grow a personal brand, or do you want to build a company brand? Oh, okay. Then without a doubt, you have to talk about everything, right? Because I do that. Like in the beginning, I was like, oh, I need to talk actually very specific about. I need to stay in my lane, right? That's what I actually did in the beginning. I just talked about like copywriting and things I knew well, design. I didn't even really talk about Instagram in the beginning at all. I started slowly branching out, and what I realized is, um, yeah, what I realized is actually, well, this is kind of I don't know if I knew this back then, but a lot of these topics they overlap. Like it's hard for me to talk about storytelling and marketing yourself without tackling like your childhood trauma, for example, because like that is actually related to how you run your business today or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I realized. Yeah, I think the bigger problem is this. I think a lot of people believe that in this world, I love this song from John Mayer. It's called No Such Thing. Like, there's no such thing as the real world. Like, a lot of people believe that, oh, I need, in order to be an ex, in order to talk about this, I need to be an expert in this field. In order to talk about this, I need to be an expert in this field. And I don't have the credentials to talk in that space or something like that. That's how most people feel. And what I found is that there's no such thing as the real world. Like you can literally do whatever you want. And from what I saw, there are people who do whatever they want unapologetically. So I have a friend who's in real estate, and his whole like he knows a lot of people in the real estate business, right? And real estate is a very traditional business. It's done a certain way, same way, blah blah blah. And in New York, every broker, the way it works is if you're a real estate agent, you work for a broker, right? Like Century 21 or something like that. And that broker keeps 50% of the commission and you take 50% of the commission because that broker is feeding you leads and, advertising and stuff like that, right? But then there were some salespeople in New York who were really talented. And I don't need leads from Century 21. I can get my own customer, I can close it, and I want to keep 100% of my commission, right? But by law, you can't because you have to be under a brokerage firm. So what my friend did was he saw this. This was like 10 years ago, right? He saw this. He was like, what's going on here? And he started a brokerage where, okay, you keep 100% of your commission and you just pay me $500 a month, right? So what he did was he started a brokerage and he just attracted the best salespeople that didn't want to be tied to a brokerage. And then like just within a couple of years, he got to like a couple thousand agents paying him $500. So this is what I mean. Like most people at that moment, what they do is like I'm not in this area. I'm not an expert in real estate, so I can't get into it. But what this guy is like, because he's not in real estate, like he saw a completely different way of doing this, and he was unapologetic about it. He was like, "No, this is how I'm gonna do it. I don't care how 99.999% of people do it. This is how I'm gonna do it, and this is the right way." It almost like yeah, you have to be like that. Oh yeah, so you started overthinking. Yeah. So many entrepreneurs fall into that trap where, because a lot of people get into entrepreneurship because, yeah, sorry about that, guys on YouTube. Like, I'll try to repeat everything that I say. So, one of the biggest things about like entrepreneurship when people get started is the reason why we got into entrepreneurship is because we're good at something. Like we were working a 9 to 5 job, and then all of a sudden we realized, oh, we can do this and we can sell this, and people actually want it, right? So that thing that we're driven by or we're good in is the thing that naturally got us into the business and gave us success because we're good at it. And then we grow, have a little bit of success, and then what we do is like we start listening to the experts, the so-called experts. It's like, oh no, oh no, you can't do that. Oh, you gotta do this. You gotta do. Oh no, you gotta stay within your lane. Oh no, you gotta stick within the niche. Like, we start hearing that, we start second guessing ourselves. So what we do is we we suppress all those things that made us successful to that point. We start saying shit like, oh, what got you here won't get you there. Like that's like such like a typical mentorship phrase, right? A lot of people at that next phase of the business, like the mentors and those mastermind groups, and a lot of people, the way they sell it is like, what got you here won't get you there, right? So what a lot of people do is like, no, you can't run your business the same way, like the way you did, because if you want to go to that next scale, but this is a problem. Like, no, what got you here is the thing that's gonna set you apart and get you to the next level. The next level that there people are really talking about is like, what got you to $100 million is not gonna get you to $100 billion. They're not talking about what got you $1 million is not gonna get you to $10 million. That's not what they're talking about. Yeah, yeah. I think we overeducate ourselves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right on. Like, just for the YouTube folks out there, like I think what a lot of us do is we keep searching for the end of the next mastermind, the next mentor, the next coach, blah 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 blah, and a lot of times like 99% of those advice and information might not apply to you, but 1% might. So which 1% is it, right? Like it's hard. So the best. That's why I say the best thing is when the more over educate yourself, the more you're gonna hold yourself back from taking action, and taking action really is the answer. So yeah, awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's see if we can have one more person here. I don't know how to yeah, we'll find out. Well, okay, there we go. Okay, let's try one more. Let me see if there's any questions here. So there's one question here. Ivor Madzart. I can't find the time and creativity to develop my content because I prioritize work for clients. So I think that's a really common problem too, right? A lot of people. What I always say is there's urgent work and there's important work, and we always put the urgent work in front of important work, right? So what I would say is this: if you really want to figure out, is what I'm saying an excuse or is it really real? Maybe one of the first things we need to do is, do I really want this, right? Because a lot of people will do that. Oh, I want to grow Instagram. I want to grow. I want to get to how many followers. I want to grow Instagram, and then I want to grow my brand, right? Okay. Do you really want to? Because in order for you to grow Instagram, this is what you need to do. Then this is how many hours you need to invest, right, into doing that. And I'll say this, like, is that worth the investment? And then people are like, oh no, I don't have time. Like, oh no, I have a baby at home and I have a full-time job, and I don't have time, right? So then, what I would ask is, okay, do you really want to grow Instagram? Do you really want, like, is this worth this investment, right? Because without that, it's really, that needs to be crystal clear. Do I really want to Instagram? Is because actually the answer might be that maybe I don't even need to grow Instagram. You know, for most freelancers, I would say, if you're a freelance designer, right, or if you're a freelance copywriter or something like that, and you're trying to get clients, right? You're trying to get clients, especially B2B clients, right? Like you're trying to get client, like a small business client or something like that, I actually think that you're wasting your time by going on social media. I think the best thing for you to invest on at that time would be to actually to invest in your business, meaning like your current clients, to get referrals or to build your portfolio, or go on LinkedIn or something like that. But I think growing, like, if you're an agency or you're like freelancer targeting businesses, growing your Instagram, I think that's actually a waste of time, right? So a lot of people do that, right? They'll say something like, "Oh, I want to grow Instagram, but I don't have time. Oh, I want to grow my business, but I just don't have the time. I'm working two jobs, and like I just don't have the time, right?" So then the question that I would ask is, do you really want to grow your Instagram? Do you really want to start a business? Because that's what it's going to require, right? And then if you say to yourself, "Yes, I really want to," then you gotta then say, "Okay, what can I give up in my life, right? How can I prioritize my life?" Because all of you guys, right? To be honest, like all of you guys, watch TV, probably spend time on YouTube, spend time on social media. Do like just really look at your entire day, and are you spending every minute, like every hour of it, like fully, like it's like it's like fully booked? Or if you're just truly being honest, and you were looking at yourself, looking at your own schedule, are there a lot of time being wasted there, right? A lot of time being wasted here because you're not focused, or because you're like, because that's what I used to do. For me, I got so in the habit of saying like, oh no, so I can't. I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. No, I can't. I got a lot of work to do. I got so in the habit of saying that that became kind of my shield, right? That became my armor. I kept relying on that. Like every time I didn't want to do anything, oh, I don't want to go to that party. I was like, no, I gotta work. Every time I don't want to do anything, I always used, oh, oh no, I got a lot of work to do, as an excuse. So I think the first thing you need to do is figure out what is it that you really want to focus on, and what that you want to invest in. Because if work-life balance, like spending time at home and all of that is really important to you, then you really need to ask yourself the tough question of like, I don't know, I don't really have I don't have the time to grow Instagram, and it's not growing Instagram or starting a business is not as important to me, right? Like we just need to be really honest with ourselves. And a lot of times I feel like what we do is we want one thing deep down in our heart, but then we tell ourselves something else, right? And then we tell others something else. So yeah, I think anybody that feels like if any of you guys feel like I'm not good, like the excuse that you're giving is that, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not skilled enough, oh, I don't know enough about this topic to talk about it, right? Those kind of things. Here's the thing, right? Okay, like here's the thing, right? I don't know anything about AI, ChatGTP. I don't know anything about NFT. I don't know anything about those things, right? Now, I can do this. I can sit here and say, I'm never going to talk about AI. I'm never going to talk about NFT. I'm never going to talk about any of those things because I don't know it. Like, that's just not me. Or I can. Here's the thing, right? What a lot of people do is, most people that what they do is, oh, I'm not a salesperson. Oh, I'm just not a people person. I'm just not a I'm an introvert. I can't sell. I'm an introvert. Oh, I'm just not a. I'm more of a creative type. I'm more of a. I'm not really good with people, so I can't sell. Right? That's actually what I used to say all the time. Right? So what we're doing is we're giving ourselves an out We're giving ourselves an easy out, easy excuse because we don't want to even try, right? Because for us, yeah, going up to that person, talking and selling, that shit is really really hard. So what we're doing is we're giving ourselves an it's not it's not because I didn't want to do it. It's not because I didn't want to work at it. I'm just not a salesperson. I'm just not a people person. That that's it. Like, and you don't want to work at it. Anybody can be a salesperson. Anybody can learn to sell. Anybody can learn to do anything. I can, like, if I wanted to make content about NFT, if I wanted to make content about ChatGTP, the first thing I would do, what I would have to do, is go open up Google.com and type in ChatGTP, enter, right? And then I got, I go into, and then I read all the entire Wikipedia page, and then I go, oh, Chat, okay, AI, okay, let me do, okay, Chat, oh, there's this other app called Otter AI. What's that? Oh, let me look into that. Okay, so you keep looking, digging, right? And then eventually, like, you learn a little more. You learn a little more. But here's the thing: you don't want to read that Wikipedia page. Like, people nowadays in the modern world, nobody wants to read, right? Like, I worked in IT department like a long time ago, and as a test, what I did was I put all of this script on everyone's computer, where they come in, and they're like in the middle of like them using their computer, a pop-up will come up, like a error pop-up will come up, and like ding, and it says error, user error, replace user, and hit OK, and everybody just hit OK without reading it. Because like afterwards, I ran around and asked them like, "Oh, did you see that pop-up message?" And nobody saw it. Only like one out of like 1,000 people saw it, right? That just goes to show you that nobody reads anything. Like when something's not working in a computer, a lot of people that I see, they'll like click around. They're like, "Bing, ding, 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 ding. Oh, it's not working, son. It's not working. It's not working." And then like I'll go there. I'll be like, "Son, can you take a look? Can you fix this? It's not working." And I'll go there. And then there's an error message that says, "Oh, please enter this to continue," or something. There's an obvious error message that was telling him exactly what he needs to do, but he just didn't want to read it, right? It's the same thing. Like, you don't know enough about a topic. It's because you don't want to spend the 10 hours reading about it in Wikipedia, and then another 50 hours practicing it, and then like, how else are you gonna know about it? How else are you gonna learn anything in life, right? I mean, like, we were all born a baby out of our mom's womb without any information in here. We were all born like that. So if I went from a baby who couldn't even speak to where I am now, you from a baby who can speak to should easily be able to do that, right? Why is it that some people can do it and some people can't? It doesn't work like that. That, like, you really need to get that through to your head, right? You really need to get it through to your head that it's not that, I don't speak English. Oh, my English isn't good enough. Oh no, I don't know enough about AI. Oh, I don't know enough about copywriting to talk about that. I don't know enough about coaching. That's not the problem, right? Because you don't know? You don't know enough about, you know what? There's a thing called Google. You can go ask. You can learn. But the thing is, the real problem is whenever you're giving that excuse, what I found is that whenever somebody's giving that excuse is that, I'm just not good enough. Oh, I'm not expert enough. Well, who am I to talk about this? What you're actually really saying is that I don't want anyone to know that I'm a beginner. That's what you're really saying. Which is true, right? Like, but that's the thing. Everyone has to start somewhere. And it's really 99% of the time, all those excuses are giving, almost everything that you're saying, it's your ego saying it. Once you drop that ego, once you disappear that ego, none of those excuses like are valid. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let's see if there's any questions here. So I'll give you a perfect example, right? This is the example that I always give. Because, you know, a lot of times people won't show up to like a meeting, or people won't show up to this thing, or that, things like that, and they say, "Oh, sorry, my internet." I mean, how many times do you see that at work, right? People are like, "Oh, sorry, my internet was down." Oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry, we had an emergency, or sorry, I'm late. There was traffic. There was an accident on the highway. Oh, I'm sorry, there was like the because of the heavy rain, there was an accident on the highway, and then like I couldn't, right? So, sorry, excuse me. So that's what people will say, son. Like it wasn't my fault. It's not an excuse, son. It was raining and there was accident on the highway, so that's why I couldn't be on time. It's not my fault, right? So the excuse then what I would do is, okay, what if this was a meeting? Thank you, Tabitha. What if this was a meeting for opportunity of your lifetime, and like this meeting was gonna give you $1 billion in funding to start your next business, but if you're even 1 minute late, you don't get the meeting. Even if you're 1 minute late, you're fucked. Okay, but $1 billion is on the line. Are you gonna somehow make sure you show up there on time? Are you gonna make sure, like, if the meeting is at 9 a.m., are you gonna get there at 9 a.m., or are you gonna get there at 8 a.m.? Right? This is why, like, like a lot of people wonder why. A lot of people wonder why. When we do our small group meetings, or when we do our small group leader meetings, or when we do anything, I'm always the first one there. I'm always there 10 minutes, 15 minutes early. Every meeting I go to, I'm always 10, 15 minutes early. And people are like, well, people are probably going like, son, why are you wasting your time? Like that's what people are saying, right? Why are you wasting your time going, blah, blah, blah? I'm not wasting my time. I'm going to be there 15 minutes just in case something happens, just in case there's an emergency, just in case, you know what I mean? So everything is within your power and within your responsibility to fix if you think of it that way. But in your mind, if you're already coming up with excuse before it even happens, right? Before it even happens, but some people will do this. Like when I say, "Oh, hey, Gigi, you have to get this done by this time. Hey, you have to do this by this time." Some people will immediately come back to me, be like, "Oh, son, what if there's a traffic? What if it rains? And what if this happens? Oh, what if that happens?" People start coming to me with excuses even before it happens. If you come to me with excuses even before it happens, what do you think I'm thinking in my mind? Like, this person's coming up with excuses even before trying it. Like, this person clearly doesn't want to fucking do it, right? So yeah, I mean, if you come up with excuses even before you try it, that means it's already over. You know? So, yeah. That's what I'll say. Okay, let's continue. Let's see if there's any more questions. Hassan Nines Ra. My excuse is that as a student, I am very busy with my studies and then with my co-curriculars. Please suggest some ways to manage stuff, particularly when it comes to earn some cash and great content. Yeah, it's the same thing. It comes down to the same thing, right? Like a lot of times, whenever it's an excuse that has to do with the time, I think what it really is it has to do with priority. Like I did this post back then when I said like you really need to ask yourself, do I really want this or not? Because because a lot of times that's what it means. When you say something like, "Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I was so busy. I didn't have the time. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I had to take my kids to school. Oh, sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry. I had to do this. Sorry. Whenever it has anything to do with time like that, really ask yourself this: ask yourself this, like, do I really not have the time? Or is that me saying, oh, I could have made time if I wanted to, but that thing, it wasn't important enough for me to make time, right? But I'm just saying, oh, I was busy, oh, I didn't have time. Why? Because I still want you to feel bad for me. That's you. That's what I mean by excuses. Like, that's why I keep saying freedom. Like, freedom is responsibility, right? The fact that you're giving excuse already is saying that I don't want freedom. The fact that you're giving that excuse. So if you say something like, "Oh no, no, I didn't have time. I didn't have time," right? Instead of saying that, "Oh, I had time, but it just wasn't important enough." That's you already setting yourself with that armor again. Hey, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't have time. It's not my fault. Oh, feel bad for me. Like, that's you playing the victim, right? That's what I said, right? Everyone is a victim. Oh, I don't have time. It's not my fault. I don't have time. And you can change that narrative at that point. You can go from, oh, like, I didn't have time. It's not my fault. It's really not my fault. I didn't have time. And then you can switch that to, oh, you know what? I didn't have time, but I prioritized this, and then I made this happen. Or you can say, oh, I didn't have time, but that's okay because that thing actually isn't important. Isn't important, right? You can confront that. You can confront that person. Hey, son, why didn't you come to my birthday? Why didn't you come to my birthday party? Oh, no, sorry, I had this meeting to go to. Sorry, I was so busy. Oh, sorry, I didn't have time. I had too much work to do. That's me putting on my armor and be like, I don't want to take the blame. I'm a victim, right? It's not my fault, right? But somebody who wants freedom, who doesn't want blame, is like, oh, it's because I didn't want to go to your birthday party. I didn't want to go to your stupid birthday party, okay? That's why I didn't go. Not because I didn't have time, right? Like, just say the truth, right? Because every time you give that excuse, every time you say, oh, I didn't have time. Oh, no, it's because of my kids. Oh, no, it's because of my other job. It's because of my full-time job. Oh, it's because I'm taking care of this. Oh, it's because I'm this. Every time you say that shit, like, just, you're lying. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I'll say. Yeah, I mean, just either say the truth or mean it, right? If you say, okay, so that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, so I think that's what I'll say. Priorities and expectation, I think, is so important. Number one, to not give excuse, to take 100% ownership of everything. I think you need to understand what your priorities are. Is this my priority? Is like a simple one is this, right? Whenever you try to have the cake and eat it too, that's when you're gonna bump into problem. Because I think that's what so many people do. So many people are like, oh no, I can be a great mom. I can be an amazing home, and I can build a $1 billion empire too. I can do both. Oh, you know what? No, I can homeschool kids, and I can start a business too. Oh, I can do this and that too. But the reality is, we need to realize that if we do this, we're gonna sacrifice a little of this, and like this, we need to understand what our priorities are, because a lot of times We don't want to prioritize. We're like, oh no, I want this, but I want this too, and I want that too, and I want this too. So what happens? You say yes. Okay, yes, yes, yes. You say yes to everything. Oh yeah, I'll come on your podcast. Oh yes, I'll do this. Oh yeah, I'll do the thing. Oh, I'll do that. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Oh yeah, I'll come to your birthday party. You say yes to everything. And then later on, what do? Oh, I don't have time. Oh no, I was too busy. I was too. No, it's not my fault. I was too busy. No, it was your fucking fault. You shouldn't have said yes to everything. You should have prioritized and say, realistically, I can only do this, this, this. So I'm gonna say no to this person because you didn't have the balls. You didn't have the courage to say no to somebody. Now you fucking come up with excuses to protect yourself. That's bullshit. Like, have some fucking courage and take some responsibility, okay? Okay. The next thing is this, expectations. So first is priority. Most likely, if your thing is time, I 100% guarantee you it's you didn't fucking prioritize. It has nothing to do with time. It has nothing to do with like you're too busy. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that you didn't prioritize. And you're blaming everyone else except yourself for you not prioritizing, okay? Number 2 is expectations. Think about this, right? We get like we go all crazy and be like, oh, these people are so stupid. Like, oh, I hired these people and we're like, oh, if you want something done, you gotta do it yourself. All these designers, I hire all these designers. I keep giving them double art, but then they suck. They come back and they're like, suck. I gotta do it myself because everyone sucks. Everyone's stupid. Blah 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 blah. Right? That's because expectation is so because a lot of people also do this. Why can't my wife be more like this? Oh, why can't my husband be more like this? Oh, why can't you be more like that? Right? Oh, why can't people be more like that? Right? And that they use that as an excuse, right? Like they use that as an excuse to be like, oh, it's not my fault. It's like people are stupid. Oh, it's not my fault. It's his fault, right? But the truth is, like, let's say, I always give this example. Let's say you have a dog who pees everywhere, right? And you left the door open, and he came to your room and he peed in your room, right? Are you really gonna at that moment blame the dog? Like, what are you gonna get out of that? What are you gonna get out of blaming that dog, right? Or are you gonna blame yourself for leaving that door open, right? Of course you're going to blame yourself for leaving the door open. You're not going to blame the dog for coming in and peeing, like doing what that dog always does, right? So it's kind of the same thing. And the reason why we blame ourselves for leaving the door open is because we have a certain expectation from a dog, right? But if a human did that, obviously you would blame the human, right? You wouldn't blame yourself for leaving the door open. You would blame the human because we have a certain expectation from a human. So what I'm saying is just get rid of all your expectation. Don't have any expectations, okay? If somebody's fucking being stupid, if somebody's being an asshole, if somebody's lying to you, somebody's cheating you, somebody's somebody's attacking you, all of those things, have zero expectations. Just expect that every day. Every morning, wake up in the morning, like it's kind of like the Marcus Aurelius stoicism. Every day, just expect people to come lie to you, cheat you, to fucking, to mock you, to like just expect all of this horrible bad things from everyone. Okay? Then when bad things happen, when they do cheat you, when they do something stupid like that, you're not gonna start blaming them, right? You're not gonna be like, oh, it's not my fault. It's because of this. It's not my fault because I didn't have time. It's not my fault because I had to take care of my kids. Oh, it's not my fault because I had to, babysit so and so. Like, you're gonna stop doing that if you have zero expectations from these people and you just take ownership of everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, you really need to take absolute ownership of everything that happens in your life. If freedom is what you want, Let's see if there's any more. Philomethlin. I am not sure what my problem is, but I always have excuse not to do something and stuck in loop. Yeah. So that is like what Einstein says is a definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity, right? So what I would do if I were you is I would really, really dig deep and I would ask myself, is this what I even really want? Because I think so many people say to themselves, oh, I want to be a designer. Oh, I want to be a coach. Oh, I want to be this. I want to be this. But I don't know if they really, really want it or not. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's the first thing. I think it's kind of like this for me. I always use this example of quitting smoking. Like when you quit smoking. Like most people are not going to quit smoking until they're really, 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 really ready to quit smoking, right? So for me, for years, I've been saying, oh, I have to quit. Oh, I have to quit smoking. Oh, I have to quit smoking. Oh, I got to quit smoking. And I've even tried for a couple days and I did it. A couple days, like, oh, I got to quit. But I had deep down in my heart, I had no intention of quitting smoking. I just fucking love like in the morning waking up having that coffee with that cigarette. It's just like I had zero intention of quitting smoking. It was just words that are coming out of mouth. Okay. It's kind of like when people are saying, Peter Feud. There was actually a show called The Island. It's a season 2 of The Island. But anyway, so where was I? Yeah. So you got to figure out if that's something you really, really, really want, because that's what a lot of people do. It's like, oh, I gotta quit smoking. Oh, I gotta quit. Oh, I gotta go to the gym. I gotta get fit. Oh, I gotta stop eating junk food. I gotta stop eating junk food. Oh, I gotta stop dating assholes. I gotta stop dating assholes. I gotta be more like. Everybody says that shit, right? Everybody says, oh, I gotta drink more water. Everybody says, but nobody's actually gonna do it until deep down in their core, in their bones, they actually believe that they need to do it. Because I think there's really a disconnect when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna quit." Oh, one day I'll do that. Oh, one day I'll do that. Oh yeah, I really need to work on that. In the back of their mind, it's like just going one year out there. They don't mean it. It's just that their words. They got so used to saying it over and over and over and over. Oh, yeah, I really need to work on social media. I really need to work on social media next year. Oh, I really need to work on social media next year. Oh, I really need to make content. Oh, next year. Okay, after 5 years, like, do you really need to? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like people who's been saying they're going to quit smoking for 5 years. Like, I don't know. Do you really need to? Right? Like, I don't think so. Maybe not, right? That's kind of what's happening. Okay. Okay, I think that's all I have. If nobody else has any question. Yeah, I don't want to really get into like things that are like out of my wheelhouse, right? Like if you're suffering from mental illness, or if there's like some sort of medical reasons why you can't do that, blah 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 blah, blah. Like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I don't know, right? But I will say this, right? I recommend. I really recommend everybody to check out this book from an author named Viktor Frankl. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. And the reason why is because I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a single mom having to raise 3 kids, working 2 jobs. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be suicidal and have depression. I don't know. I don't know these things, okay? yeah, maybe there are certain situations that I have no idea, right? And maybe it's bullshit for me to sit here and be like, um, yeah, there's something going on with the smoke alarm, like something like that, right? But here's the thing, right? That book is from an ex Holocaust survivor who kept his meaning going in life going, and he wrote that book, right? And then there's also that Korean girl Yeonmi Park who was a defector of North Korea. So there are people like this, right? Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. So there are people like that, and they don't give excuses. Even they take full ownership of full responsibility for their life. So yeah, I mean that's where I'm gonna leave it, right? I think if we wanna blame the world, if we wanna blame, like, I'm not saying that the fucking world is fair, right? I'm not saying that the life is fair. Life is not fair. I actually think that that's the one truth that's universal. Life is not fair. No, this shit is not fair at all. But we can sit here and fucking complain all day and fucking cry all day and be the victim about it all day long. Or we can say, yeah, life is not fair. Like, these people got dealt aces, these people got dealt kings, and I got dealt a 7-2. I got dealt jack shit. Okay? Yeah, life is not fair. I got dealt a bad poker hand. Okay, now how am I gonna play it? Right? Or you can sit here and just fucking cry about being dealt a bad hand all fucking your life and die like that. I don't want to I don't want to live like that. I don't care if I got dealt the worst fucking hand. I want to play that hand to the max. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I would say. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope I wasn't too confusing today. um, I didn't get any sleep last night, so I'm a little bit like I'm having a lot of hard time like just retaining thoughts and like keeping short-term memory right now because I didn't get any sleep. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow we're gonna do a live streaming, not live streaming, but we're gonna do a live premiere of Authentic as Fuck podcast episode. That's gonna be a really good one. So please tune in for that. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.